With the coming of night, a silent teenager furtively opens his bedroom door.
Now is my chance to find the costume Aunt May took from me. I can tell by her steady breathing that she's sound asleep. So far, so good. It's not here in the trash can, so she couldn't have thrown it away yet. It must still be somewhere in the house. I've tried every closet and cupboard. There isn't a sign of it. Perhaps in the attic. Nope, not here either. The only place left to look is in her own room, but I can't go in there until the morning. What a pickle to be in. A Spider-Man without his costume is like a beetle without his hair. It could only happen to me. I wish I knew what Jonah Jameson did with my other costume, the one I tricked him with on that rooftop. Oh well, I'll worry about it tomorrow.
But there are still more worries in store for that sleeping Peter Parker. For at that very moment, under cover of darkness, a mysterious meeting is taking place.
You can't back out now. We agreed that I'd help you take over the Underworld. Then, with the Green Goblin's brains and your knowledge of the rackets, nothing could stop us.
Forget it. I decided I don't need you. I'm the crime master. I can do it alone.
But I revealed my true identity to you as part of the deal. If you think I'll let you get away with...
There's nothing you can do. Try to stop me, and I'll see to it that the world knows who you really are. Now get lost. I've got things to do. Unless you're willing to take orders from me, I can always use another flunky. How about it, Goblin?
You've outsmarted yourself this time. Remember, I know who you are, too, so you haven't heard the last of me.
He's bluffing. He can't expose me any more than I can expose him. It's a stalemate.
Later, at the hideout of one of the city's many underworld mobs.
Since the police have had the heat on us, we haven't been able to pull a caper for weeks. As if that ain't bad enough, we never know when Spider-Man will snare us in that blasted web of his. Well, one thing's for sure, we've got to pull a job soon, or disband. Ah, I'm just inside. This is the perfect time to leave my calling card, now while they're confused and dissatisfied. Hey, look out! There's someone at the window. He's throwing something. Duck, it's a bomb. No, hold it. It broke open. There's nothing inside but a note. Gimme, I'll read it. This is your first and last notice. From now on, I'm taking over the rackets. Defy me, and it will not be a false alarm next time. It's signed, the Crime Master. The Crime Master? It went as smooth as clockwork, but that was only the beginning. Before I'm done, the entire underworld will tremble at the mere mention of the name Crime Master.
Minutes later, in a room above a parked automobile which the Crime Master has just walked away from.
Who in blazes could be phoning me now? Don't say a word. Look out your window at your car, which is downstairs. Keep watching it. It blew up. Say, who do you think? Quiet. This is the Crime Master. I'm taking over from now on. The Crime Master?
Within hours, gang leaders all over the city are contacted by the masked mystery man whose name begins to fill them with a strange apprehension.
He must be some kind of hotshot if he dares to challenge all of us at once. The Crime Master? Who knows? Maybe he's just what we need.
Me? I don't like it.
Nah, I say we should fight him. Nobody's taken over my mob. He must be someone from the rackets. He could even be one of us. But he's dangerous. He knows too much.
How did he know where to contact us?
How do you know who we all are? He must have the goods on us.
Then, just before dawn breaks over the sprawling metropolis,
There was nothing more for me to do tonight. I'll close the window and pull down the blinds now. The game I'm playing is a dangerous one. One error, one miscalculation could mean my very life. But I can't back out now. I'll switch on the light and change clothes. My special working clothes should be safe enough here in this hollowed out portion of my bedroom closet. And now it's time for Frederick Foswell to return to his job as news reporter for J. Jonah Jameson's Daily Bugle.
Okay, now that everything's thoroughly confused, let's return to Peter Parker's house and start picking up the pieces.
Maybe if I bring the conversation around to my costume, Aunt May will mention what she did with it. I guess it was silly of me to try to wear a Spider-Man costume to that party, Aunt May. Oh, by the way, where did you—
Let's not discuss it any more, Peter, dear. We'll consider the matter finished.
Just my luck. She thinks she's being nice to me, but now I'll never be able to get my hands on that outfit again. Well, there's still that other Spidey costume which J. Jonah Jameson had. I hope I can get that one from him. See you later, Aunt May. I'm going to run over to the Daily Bugle for a while.
All right, dear. Have a nice day. And come home by bus if it rains.
Not long afterwards, we find...
Well, well. Hello, Peter. Have you any new plans to catch Spider-Man today?
Uh-oh. She's still angry because she thinks I helped Jonah in his fight with Spidey. Aw, come on, Betty. How long are you gonna hold a grudge?
I am not holding a grudge. After all, if you want to be palsy-walsy with Jonah Jameson, that's your business.
Aw, rats. First you write letters to Ned Leeds because you feel sorry for him, then you worry about Spider-Man. How about having a good word for Peter Parker?
You mean the Peter Parker who's been dating Liz Allen? And who has another girlfriend whom he's never even mentioned to me? Namely Mary Jane Watson?
But I don't even know Mary Jane Watson.
Really? Then how come your Aunt May introduced me to her when I was at your house last time? It wasn't bad enough to find Liz Allen coming to see you also. How many more girlfriends do you have?
Look, I can't help it if my aunt has been trying to get me to date Mary Jane. I never even saw her.
Oh no? Well, you ought to open up your eyes, Casanova. She's very hard to miss seeing.
Boy, the only thing worse than a hot-tempered female is a jealous hot-tempered female.
And another thing.
What in Sam hell is all the racket out here? Oh, brother, it's Jonah. Get back to work, Miss Brandt. And Parker, this is an office, not an arena. If you haven't any photos to sell me, go to your shouting on some street corner. Yeesh, I sure blew that bit. I'll never get my Spider-Man costume back from Jolly Jonah now. Boswell, come in here with your file on the Green Goblin and the Crime Master. I want you to do a feature story on them for the Sunday supplement. Yes, sir, Mr. Jameson. Maybe this visit won't be a total loss after all. This is my chance to get another line on Foswell. Even though everyone thinks he's gone straight since he served time for being a racket leader, I still don't trust him any further than Aunt May could throw him. So, there's been no definite tie-in between the Goblin and that nut who calls himself the Crime Master. But keep digging away. I will. I'll just slip my little electronic tracer gizmo into Foswell's hatband. Then, if I ever get a chance to become Spider-Man again, I'll be able to pick up his trail from time to time. But until I manage to get myself another Spidey costume, there's not much of anything I can do. Except worry.
And speaking of worries, a few minutes later...
Well, well, look who's here. Old puny Parker finally got tired of trying to hide from me.
Get off my back, loudmouth. I'm in no mood for your muscle-bound mirth today. And the same goes for your gang of grinning hyenas.
Hey, who are you calling hyenas?
Look in the mirror and you'll find out.
How about that? He's a regular Bob Hope today. Yeah, and he's liable to be a regular hospital case tomorrow if he doesn't clam up. Hey, it looks like the mouse is trying to turn into a lion, huh, Flash?
Okay, you brainless baboons. You've laughed at me for the last time.
And, as luck would have it, the principal turns towards the window at that very moment and sees.
I'd never have believed it. Peter Parker deliberately attacked that group of boys. What could have come over him?
But suddenly, a sharp female voice rings out as Peter Parker's rage fades away before he can fully apply his awesome spider strength.
Stop it! Stop it, I say!
Holy smoke! What am I doing? Another minute and I'd have exposed myself as Spider-Man.
Stay out of this, Liz. I'm sick of you always protecting that milksop.
Attacking him? It looked to me like he was doing fine against all you bullies.
It's lucky Liz came by when she did. Lucky for them, that is. It's okay, Liz. Don't worry about me. That bird brain doesn't scare me.
I knew it. You've become as bad as Flash is, and I thought you were different.
He will be when I'm through with him.
I'm through with both of you. I never want to see either of you again.
Don't worry, Liz. I'll fix it so you won't see Parker anymore.
First Betty is mad at me, and now Liz. What a Don Juan I am. Hey Parker, the principal wants to see you. On the double. You're in for it now.
Boy, Mr. Davis must have seen Parker swinging at us. He thinks he started it. That means we're in the clear. Davis may even expel him. Ha, what a crying shame. We sure will miss puny Parker around here. Where you going, Flash? I'll see if I can find Liz. I'll turn on the old charm for her.
A few minutes later.
I couldn't help overhearing outside the door. Parker took the whole responsibility for himself. He didn't even try to blame any of us.
I'll let you know my decision later, Parker. It was my fault. I should have known better.
But no sooner has Peter left when...
Mr. Davis, I think you better hear the whole story of what happened. Parker really wasn't to blame.
I'm glad to hear you say that, my boy. Come in. We'll have a talk.
But once again our scene changes as we see the reappearance of a now familiar figure.
You dared to openly defy my warning, and so I'll now make an example of you for the other gangs.
Look out, you guys! It's the Crime Master!
Hewing the boss, we haven't a chance. He's a crack shot.
None of you have the brains or the skill or the nerve to stop me, and now I'll give you one last chance. Will you accept me as the kingpin of the city's gangs, or...
Yeah, sure. Anything you say, Crime Master.
That's more like it. Now with you under my thumb, the others will all fall into line.
And across town in the city's most exclusive men's club.
Jameson, how can you afford to spend so much time away from your newspaper when there's so much crime activity in the headlines? Don't forget, as the largest newspaper publisher in town, I have all sorts of inside information. The events taking place in the Underworld are all being carefully covered by my staff.
Tell me something, JJ. Do you have any idea who the Green Goblin is?
How about the Crime Master? Are they the same man? Everybody's been trying to guess. Sorry, gentlemen, I cannot reveal the inside story yet. But keep reading the Bugle. I'll have a big expose soon.
One of your reporters is this fellow Foswell, who used to be a big-time criminal himself. Is it wise for you to employ such a notorious character?
I think you deserve credit for giving an ex-convict a second chance.
You know what they say about me, gentlemen. I'm all heart. And besides, Foswell works like a dog.
But now, before you start thinking the name of our magazine should be changed to The Life of Jonah Jameson, let's return to our swingin' teenage hero.
Say, why didn't I think of this before? That's just what I need. In the window of this costume shop. You say you're interested in that Spider-Man outfit? I can let you have it cheap. There's not much call for it lately. But if you want something really popular, why don't you take that Frankenstein suit? They're selling like hotcakes. Hotcakes I can get in a restaurant. Okay, son, suit yourself. No pun intended. Shall I wrap it up or will you wear it out? Wrap it up. I want to give it to my dead mother as a housewarming gift.
Minutes later, the glib-tongued adventurer changes into his new costume on a lonely rooftop.
Luckily, they make these things out of those new stretch fabrics nowadays, so one size fits almost anybody. And now at last I can pick up the signals for my little gizmo and investigate Frederick Foswell. Wowee, it sure feels good to be back in action again. I feel like an eagle who's been let out of a cage. I might as well face it. Being Spider-Man is just plain habit forming. It's like going out with girls. I can't give it up.
But then...
Uh-oh, it looks like they put too much stretch in these stretch fabrics. I'm starting to come apart. That's what I get for being the only superhero in town who's nutty enough to run around in a second-hand costume. Well, I'll just use some of my webbing to hold the blamed thing in place. There, that ought to do it.
Minutes later, two colorful figures pass each other in the night, neither realizing how close he is to the other. And finally...
This is where my gizmo signal is coming from. Foswell must be somewhere in that apartment. And yet, there's no sign of life. I'd better investigate. There's his hat, and the rest of his clothes, but no Foswell. The place is empty. I'd better look around while I have the chance.
But at that moment, another form approaches the apartment from a different direction.
There's a light on inside. Someone is in there. So long as he lives, he'll be a constant threat to me, unless I eliminate him.
I wonder, did Foswell change his clothes because he knew my electronic tracer gizmo was hidden in his hat? Or was there another reason? Wait a minute, my spider sense is tingling. Danger is near, very near. Ew, if not for my spider sense, I'd be wearing a very drafty costume right now. Whoever fired that first shot is probably still around. I might as well be a moving target.
No matter how fast you move, my bullets can go faster.
He's not kidding. That one missed by a web hair. He's wearing a mask, and it's muffling his voice. I can't recognize it. Let's see now. He's not the Green Goblin, and he's not anyone I know. So that leaves the Crime Master. It must be him. I don't know much about him, but one thing I'm sure of, he's got a real nasty disposition. I'm safe behind this water tower. I'll just shoot my webbing at him and... Rats! My luck's running true to form. He's safely shielded under that steel cover. Each shot is getting closer, but I've been counting them. He's only got one more. If I can just dodge that one too. I did it! That's shot number 6. His gun's empty now. Why so surprised, sweetie? You didn't expect me to let you reload, did you?
The sight of Spider-Man charging in rage may terrify others, but not the Crime Master.
I'll be darned if he doesn't sound as though he means that. I wonder what he's got up his sleeve.
And the costumed crusader receives his answer in the next split second.
Gas! The fumes are clinging to my headpiece, choking me. I've got to get it off. I need air. Air.
You didn't think the Crime Master would be an easy conquest, did you? Punching him is like punching a stone wall. His body is a mass of lithe, sinewy muscles. Perhaps I can't hurt him, but if I can just keep forcing him back to the roof's edge.
The gas is numbing me. My reflexes are slower, getting groggy.
I've got him where I want him. One more punch will do the trick.
His blows aren't hurting me. but if I don't get this headpiece off soon, I'll suffocate. I did it. I've defeated Spider-Man.
But even as he falls, the amazing teenager makes one last desperate effort and...
I did it. I can breathe again.
While on the rooftop, the Crime Master triumphantly turns away.
Spider-Man will never bother me again, or anyone, ever again, and now I have other matters to attend to.
But with his head now cleared and his lightning-fast reflexes operational again, Spidey instantly realizes his grave danger.
Falling. About to hit the ground. My webbing. I'll shoot it out. Fast. It's got to hold. It's got to. I did it. I'm safe. Man, that was a close one. I'll just stay here for a minute while I clear all the gas out of my lungs.
But then, when the fighting mad Spider-Man returns to the rooftop again...
He's gone. I've lost him. Well, I'll use these few minutes to web up again. It could have been Foswell himself. He might have been returning to his room, and then he saw me and decided to finish me off. But now I've no way to be sure. No trace of him anywhere around here. I'd better pay a visit to the Daily Bugle again. He might have returned to his job there.
Minutes later...
Still no sign of him, but there's Betty. Probably reading another letter from that blamed Ned Leeds. Well, I've no time to worry about Betty's pen pals right now. Jameson's office is empty too. This is a good time for me to scout around for my authentic Spider-Man costume.
But after a brief, though painstaking search...
It's not here. Nothing but a million clippings about the Green Goblin, the Crime Master, and that little old Spider-Man. Me. Oh well, it's nice to know I still rate among the big three. I wonder what Jameson did with my costume. He might have... Speak of the devil. Reserve a table for me at my club for dinner, Miss Brandt. Hi, Cheerful Charlie. You went to so much trouble to find me last time we met that I thought I'd return the favor now. Spider-Man. The name sounds like music when you say it. Okay, if you came in to gloat over beating me last time, have your fun and then get lost. I've got work to do. Don't go away mad. Are you still sulking because you tried to capture me and only wound up with my costume? Don't get cozy with me, masked man. If your costume is what you came for, that crackpot Smythe has it. You can get it from him. Smythe? He's the one who built the robot with which Jonah tried to defeat me. That's great. I know where to find him. Well, I'll be leaving you now, JJ. You're just not the cheerful little fun person that you used to be. And more important, this dreaded mask keeps popping out. Poor Jonah. I think he's just about given up on me. I don't know whether to be happy or sad. I'd better seal the mask with some sticky webbing fluid. At least I know it'll stay on until the web evaporates. It's still early, so I might as well return to Foswell's place. I'll give it another thorough going over.
But after long minutes of intense searching...
I should have known he'd be too clever to leave anything around that might incriminate him. Say, what's this little item though? At first glance, it seems innocent enough. But why would anyone mark off a small section of the waterfront on this calendar scene? I'd just better pay a little visit to that area.
But at that very same time, long before Spidey can reach the spot, a secret meeting of the Underworld's leaders is in session.
Okay, then we're all agreed on what to do.
Yeah, we'll send one of us to meet with the Crime Master and hear his proposition.
I'll go. I got a hunch we'll be better off if we do let him lead us.
And so, minutes later, at a prearranged meeting place.
You made a smart move, decided to throw in with me. You'll all be glad you did. Now go back and tell the others to meet at the waterfront, at the deserted pier in the West 40s. Okay, Crime Master, we'll be there.
But now, just to show you that you can't ever take things for granted in our tales, a new character enters the scene. a stool pigeon known only as Patch.
And the word is out. The mobs are gonna meet at the old deserted pier on the west side.
Good work, Patch. This is the tip we've been waiting for. We've got to move carefully. There's no law against men having a meeting, not even if we know they're Underworld big shots. But if we keep them under surveillance and play our cards right, we might get enough evidence on them to put them away for good. Okay, you have your orders. Now take off.
At the waterfront, a short time later, we near our stirring climax.
Looks like my hunch was correct. Something is definitely in the wind. Otherwise, all those cars wouldn't be bringing those hard-looking characters to a deserted pier.
I brought some of my muscle men just in case. What's the delay? Isn't the crime master here yet?
No, he'll show up after everyone's arrived. Just go inside and wait with the other guys.
But another conference is secretly taking place nearby.
You can't do this without me. The whole plan was originally mine. If you try to squeeze me out,
You'll do nothing, not so long as I have the proof of your real identity
Locked in a safe deposit vault. If I'm ever found dead, the police will open that vault and learn who... Hey, what?
You cheap double-crosser. The Green Goblin doesn't have to resort to murder. There are other ways. He was hiding a gun behind his back. Well, the smoky exhaust from my jet glider will cover me so that he won't know where to shoot.
blast you. No matter how tricky you are, a bullet can still get rid of you forever. He's throwing stun bombs, but I'm in luck. His own smoke is hiding me from him also.
I'd better hold off. If I should accidentally kill him, my secret will be made public.
Ha, you're running away. I scared you off.
Sure, like a tadpole scares a tiger. I've just decided to let you live a while longer. But you'll still never take over the rackets without me. There are other ways to stop you, and the goblin will use them.
And just a stone's throw away.
I'd better work my way around the roof so I can get a look at what's going on inside there. Wow, it's like a meeting of the who's who of the Underworld. I'd better alert the police. There might be too many for me to tackle alone.
What a great stroke of luck! There's Spider-Man, and he doesn't see me. I'll circle all the way around and keep out of sight. I've got to watch out for that uncanny sixth sense he seems to have. Now, all I've got to do is jet straight up over his head before he could possibly detect me. And then plummet down. Even your famous spider strength can't ward off the effects of a direct hit by my fast-moving jet glider. Now, while you're groggy, I'll finish you off with one carefully thrown stun bomb.
I have to hang on. Have to use spider sense to keep track of the stun bomb. It's almost on top of me. My only chance is to knock it away out of range with my webbing. Now.
But although the amazing adventurer's quick thinking succeeds in saving him from a fatal direct hit, there isn't time to hurl the bomb far away enough before it explodes.
I've beaten him at last, but his headpiece won't come off. I want to unmask him, but it's stuck too tight. Well, there'll be time for that later. Right now, I've something more important to do.
Meanwhile, directly under the pier, the mysterious crime master cautiously makes his way to a ladder.
This is the moment I've been waiting for. The moment when I take over as kingpin of the city's underworld. Everyone is here, every mob leader in the area. They've all come to acclaim me as their leader. And now for my long-awaited moment of triumph. Hey, pipe down, you guys. Clam up, all of you. The crime master is here. He's gonna tell us about his plans. The first thing I want to say is, from now on, I'm the boss. The only boss. And if anyone has any objections, let him speak up now.
All right, Crime Master. I'm speaking up. This is the Green Goblin, saying that you're about to have the shortest reign on record.
Look, it's the Goblin with Spider-Man.
He captured him. What's gonna happen next?
Just as the mysterious crime master prepares to take command over the city's gangs, a startling interruption takes place as the gloating Green Goblin brings in an unconscious prisoner.
I warned you that I'd never let anyone else take over as gang lord of the city. Even the crime master shall serve the Green Goblin.
The Goblin? With Spider-Man still alive, but I thought I had killed him.
Some of you men, get up here. I caught Spider-Man. Now see if you can hold him.
Imagine the Goblin beating Spider-Man. Hey, what gives? This blasted mask won't come off.
Forget it. We'll worry about that later. First, get him chained up before he comes to.
Too bad, my double-crossing friend. This will knock your plans to get control of the mobs into a cocked hat.
Don't bet on it, Goblin. I'm not licked yet.
Oh no? Tell him how wrong he is, my new underlings.
We're taking orders from the Goblin and no one else.
Anyone who can capture Spider-Man can boss me around any day. Get lost, Masked Man. You're a has-been around here.
And as the mobsters shout, none pay any attention to one among them known as Patch, the police informer we met last issue.
Now that we picked our new boss, let's finish off that webhead. Looks bad for Spider-Man, unless the police show up soon. I wonder if they got my tip.
Bring him over here. We'll celebrate my new reign by unmasking him and then finishing him off for good.
Just in time, Goblin. He's waking up.
But we got nothing to worry about long as he's chained good and tight.
The gas which knocked me out is finally wearing off. But from the looks of things around here, I was better off asleep.
Never forget who it was that delivered a beaten Spider-Man to you, boys. And now, let's get his mask off.
Stop squirming, punk. You're beat, and you know it. Watch it, Blackie. He's bracing himself.
Oof, you fools. Can't you even hold on to a man in chains?
Don't be too rough on them, Gobby. Even chains can't take away my ever-loving spider strength.
You can't escape now. All you're doing is delaying the final... Look out!
That's what I was hoping for.
You clumsy bungler! Watch what you're doing! Your shot almost hit me!
And you almost got me with those blamed goblin blasts of yours. In the meantime, Spider-Man dodged us both.
There are too many of them. They'll get me sooner or later unless I get lucky. And the way my luck's been running lately, someone would think I spend all my time walking under ladders and breaking mirrors. I feel some slack in the chains. With my spider strength, I might be able to snap them, but they're not giving me a chance. Don't you boys ever take 5 for a coffee break or anything?
We're hitting him with everything we got, and he keeps jawing at us. It's downright humiliating.
But then, the stroke of luck Spidey had hoped for, but hadn't dared to expect, actually happens. 3 of the police officers who had been stationed outside, hearing the sounds of battle, come charging in.
Stay where you are. You're all under arrest.
Are you guys kidding? There's only 3 of you.
We're enough for the likes of you. There's dozens of them, Sam, all around us. We can't even make it back to the call box.
Keep fighting. They can't use their guns at such close quarters. We'll get the upper hand somehow.
And that brief interruption by the 3 brave officers is all the diversion Spidey needs.
Hey, Come back, you guys. We can't hold Spider-Man by ourselves.
Look out, he's shaking us off him like fleas.
A very apt description, playmate. And now that I'm in the clear for a few seconds, I'll use the opportunity to expand my chest, flex my muscles, and... presto! I feel like Steve Reeves in one of those Italian costume movies.
Blast it! If I ever find out who tipped off the cops! Uh-oh, Spider-Man's free again! He's fully recovered! Dodged my goblin bomb! I'll lose myself in the crowd for a while.
Oops, I was gonna go after the goblin, but I'd better not. The Crime Master's still gunning for me. He must figure this is his chance to grab control of the mobs again. Those officers are putting up a great fight against the hoods down there, but they can still use some help. And they're gonna get it as soon as I set up my automatic camera. I might as well make this little session pay off for me. And now, ready or not, here I come. Heads up, playmates. Mind if I crash your little party? I'm just in time. Their backs are against the wall. Is this a private fight, or can your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man join the fun? Hold it, you three. You'll have to wait your turn. You know the rules. If you try to strike from behind, you each get 2 demerits.
Hey, what the?
My feet are stuck.
I can't move. How about that? We've got Spider-Man helping us out.
You don't hear me complaining, Dave.
How did it happen? 1 minute, everything was great, then zowie, the roof falls in.
Nice going, boys, but leave some of them for me, huh? Although I kinda hate to take sloppy seconds. Drat it! My webbing's coming loose. My costume's starting to slip. But I can't stop to fix it now. Playtime isn't over yet. Sorry, boys, I'll have to cut this short now, but it's been fun waltzing around with you. A goblin! I wondered where you were. He's too dangerous. I was better off down below.
But as Spidey drops back to the floor below with the speed of thought, he sees...
Looks like the Crime Master just never gives up. But he can't hit me if I keep the crowd between us, and that's just what I'll do.
Then, a few brief minutes later...
We give up. We had it. We can't fight you cops and Spider-Man.
Naturally, you punk. You only outnumbered us 10-1.
Every good general knows when the time comes to retreat. And not a second too soon. He almost snared me with that sticky webbing of his.
I can't hope to catch the Goblin's jet flyer, but any self-respecting Spider-Man ought to be able to collar the Crime Master.
I was double-crossed by the Goblin, by my own mobs, and now even Spider-Man is after me. But I know this waterfront area better than anyone. If I can keep him at bay for another few minutes, I may yet escape.
Minutes later...
Patch sneaked out and sent for us, but it looks as though you three had the situation well in hand.
It was some workout, Joe. Too bad you had to miss it.
We got him all lined up for you, boys, and when you hear about Spider-Man, he's a real one-man army.
And as the police finished their mopping up operation, the one-man army continues with his own private little war.
Why can't I lose him? He can't know this underground area as well as I do.
He's tricky, but he doesn't realize he can't outrun my spider sense. That was a close one. He's definitely no candidate for the Spider-Man fan club.
Every time he gets within pistol range, that blasted webbing of his shoots out and spoils my aim. But I'll get him yet.
I've got to keep moving. That Joker's too much of a dead-eye dick to take any chances with. And bullets have no way of knowing which of us is the good guy.
He's not following. Good. I must have given him the slip. Once I go through the pipe over there, he'll never find me again. And if he does, it'll be his bad luck.
He must think that he's lost me. I guess he forgot that us professional Spider-Men can hide on walls and ceilings. Well, where he goes, Spidey will goest. I'm almost through, but I'd better play it safe, just in case he is following somewhere behind me. Even if he is hidden beyond the curve of this pipe, this nerve gas will find him and rid me of him forever. Just as it'll do to the goblin when next we meet.
And a short distance behind.
Uh-oh, gas fumes. Looks like I underestimated that masked murderer. But if I move fast enough, I'll be able to fashion a protective helmet out of my webbing. Like this. It may not win first prize at a fashion show, but if I hold my breath, it'll help me to make it through the gas. Phew. I hope it's not much further. Although I'd never admit it to my enemies, I can't hold my breath forever. Ah, that looks like a grating just ahead. Well, what do you know? I'm smack dab in the center of the city's sewer system. A perfect place for a rat like the crime master. But he could have fled in any one of a dozen directions, and all the onrushing water is too much for my spider sense to cope with. Looks like I lost him.
Minutes later.
This may not do much for a rep as a glamour boy, but it's one way to get back to the surface. I'll just dash back to the pier and see if anything happened since I left. Perhaps I can learn more about the crime master there. I'm too late. There go the last of the police cars now. Oh well, at least I helped one of the biggest mass arrests in years. But I still have to get a line on the goblin and the crime master. And I still think Frederick Foswell is the key. I'll just pay a little visit to his place and see if he's there. Every trail I followed, every clue, every lead, all seem to point to Foswell. I'm convinced he's mixed up in all this somehow. His apartment's deserted, but he was here before me. His hat was on the floor last time, and now it's gone. He must have come here, changed, and gone right out again. And here's my spider pen tracing gizmo. I dropped it when I was shot at, so now I can't track him down. Well, while I'm here, I might as well look around.
Then, after an intensive search.
A closet with a false compartment. It's empty now, but it's a perfect place to hide a goblin costume or a crime master mask. He's got to be one of them.
But as Spidey leaves again.
I'll rush to Jonah's office. Maybe I'll find Foswell there. Bah, another second and I'd have had him. I was afraid of this. Foswell's not at his desk. Looks like I've reached a dead end. Well, even if he isn't the man I'd most like to be stranded on a desert isle with, I think I'll warn Jonah about Foswell. Another crime spree by Foswell could ruin Jameson and the paper. Yo! Don't make another move. All I have to do is press an alarm button and... Relax, you old skinflint. I'm here to help you. I want to warn you about Frederick Foswell. I'm sure he's either the Green Goblin or the Crime Master. You helping me? I'll believe that when I hear a dog meow. As for Foswell, you're dead wrong as usual. He's working on a series of crime articles for me. What proof do you have that he's gone crooked again? No proof yet, but I know he's mixed up in this business somehow. Sure he is. As a reporter, for me. Miss Brandt, send Foswell in here as soon as he returns.
He just entered now, sir. I'll tell him.
That reminds me, I haven't had time to call Betty Brandt for days. I wonder if she's angry. Foswell, that web-headed idiot, claims you've turned to crime again. He says you're either the Goblin or the Crime Master.
Not me, Mr. Jameson. You know I'm too smart to take a chance of becoming a two-time loser.
What does that prove? Even if he was crooked, he wouldn't admit it. Where have you been keeping yourself when you're not at work and not at home, Foswell?
Look, do I have to answer questions from him, Mr. Jameson?
Of course not. Now get back to work. I trust you.
But before Foswell can leave Jonah's office, an unexpected tableau is about to transpire on the roof across the way.
There are Spider-Man, Jameson, and Foswell all together in one office. What a perfect opportunity for me to have my revenge. I'll pick all three of them off from here.
Don't do it, mister. We've got you covered. Turn around, real slow.
Police? Who tipped them off? I can't let them take me.
Listen, gunfire coming from the roof across the way.
I wonder what that's all about. I can tell you, it's the end of the Crime Master. How would you know that, Foswell?
I told you, he's been working on a big crime story for me.
You'll learn about it when everyone else does, Spider-Man.
The shooting stopped. Whoever the police were firing at, it looks like they got him.
I knew the Crime Master wouldn't give up without making a fight of it. The fool. I hope he's alive and able to talk.
Looks like he's done for. He's sinking fast.
He's the one we thought he was.
Anything you want to tell us while you can?
You bet there is. I'll have the last laugh yet. If I cash in, I'll take the goblin with me. His real identity is Boy, if I saw that happen in a mystery movie, I'd laugh at how corny it was. And yet...
A rotten break for us. He's dead. He never got the name out.
Minutes later.
Mr. Jameson, this officer insisted on seeing you.
Not him, lady. I want to see Foswell.
Foswell doesn't look worried. I wonder what he knows that I don't.
You were right about the Crime Master's identity. I just wanted to thank you for your help.
That's okay. I was glad to do it.
How did you help the police, Foswell?
I feel like a fella who came in at the middle of a spy picture and never caught up to the plot. When I was known as the big man, before I went straight, I knew all the city's gang leaders, and I knew how they worked. Using that knowledge in my own Underworld grapevine, it wasn't hard to figure out which racket boss was the Crime Master. All I had to do was find proof.
Nick Lucky Lewis.
It's kind of funny. In real life, when a villain is unmasked, he isn't always the butler or the one you suspected. Sometimes he's a man you didn't even know. He knew I was a threat to him. He even shot at someone in my room, thinking it was me. I was that someone, so it was Crime Master who shot at me, not Foswell. I acted as bait to help the police trap Lucky Lewis. Looks like I was mistaken about you, Foswell. Forget it, Spider-Man. There's no harm done. But I still have a feeling he's hiding something. He's clever and tricky, just like the Green Goblin.
Let's forget Foswell now. Here's your chance to arrest Spider-Man. Do your duty, officer. Throw that public menace behind bars. I'll help you.
How, Jonah? By talking me into jail?
Well, I don't know, Mr. Jameson. He helped us round up the Crime Master's gang. I've no orders for his arrest. All right then, don't arrest him. I'll handle him my way. I'll splash Foswell's victory all over the front page. I'll show how wrong Spider-Man was about him. I'll make a laughingstock out of that webhead.
Don't you ever get tired of the same old song, Chuckles? Uh-oh, my camera. I'd better go back and get it, and get those pictures developed.
Go on, jump out of my window again. But this time, I hope your blasted webbing snaps in two.
Go juggle beehives, Pruneface. Rats, my costume's coming loose again, and I can't spare enough web fluid to hold it together. I'll just keep tugging at it. I can't afford to lose it. It's the only one I've got left. Here's where I left the camera. Glad I remembered. I couldn't afford to buy a new one. I'll leap up to the wood like a Spider-Man should. Uh-oh, I've been watching too many commercials. Oh no! It's gone! It must have fallen down. But if it did, someone picked it up. It's not here. But who? My spider sense is tingling. There's someone else here. I'll duck under the pier until I see what's going on. Nuts! I tripped over a rotting plank. Sometimes I wonder if this superhero business is really for me.
But a few wet, soppy, sloppy seconds later...
It was just a bunch of kids. They've got my camera. Okay, troops, fork over my camera. Thanks a heap.
Gosh, we didn't know it was yours. We couldn't figure out how it worked anyway.
Well, what are you staring at? Didn't you ever see a soaking wet Spider-Man before? I hope you don't want my autograph. The way my luck's been running, I'd probably stick myself with a pencil point and end up with blood poisoning.
I haven't the heart to tell him we're Human Torch fans anyway.
Then, as Spidey heads for home in his somewhat unique manner.
Oh well, there's nothing more that can happen to... Oh no! This is the last straw! Since I got it wet, this crummy store-bought costume is beginning to shrink on me. I might as well get out of it while I can. Youch! It feels like I'm pulling off half of my scalp with it. That's the last time I ever buy a costume at a rummage sale.
Then, after making a quick change...
But I think I'll take it along with me. I may just be able to find a use for it.
And so, a short time later in Peter Parker's cellar dark room.
This'll be a good time to pick out the best pictures to sell to Jonah Jameson, while Aunt May isn't in. Let's see now. But come to think of it, why should I always sell a no-good-nick like him my best pics? I think I'll try another newspaper this time.
Thus, we next find Pete at the offices of the Daily Globe.
Copy boy, bring this article on the MMMS to the feature editor. Step on it.
Who's in charge of buying news photos, ma'am?
Mr. Bushkin, our picture editor. Right through that door.
And so...
These are terrific, son. How'd you manage to get pictures of that fight on the docks? Who tipped you off?
What a pleasure to do business with a man who knows how to smile. Oh, I was just lucky, I guess.
You can't kid old Barney Bushkin, fella. How'd you do it? You know someone in the rackets? Got a friend on the force?
No, honest. I was just passing by.
Come on, baby. Don't hold out on old Bushy. You can tell me. I won't breathe it to a soul.
There's nothing to tell. If you don't want the photos.
Course I want them, but tell me more about yourself. What kind of camera do you use? Where did you get your experience?
I'll write you a letter. Phew, what a nosy guy. I'll take Jonah anytime.
And speaking of the peerless publisher, we find him at his club, as smug and self-satisfied as ever.
That was a great scoop in your paper, JJ.
Imagine one of your own employees helping to capture and unmask the crime master.
You must be very proud of Foswell, Jameson.
Foswell? He was just a cog in the wheel. I was the master planner. The entire capture of the crime master took place under my personal direction. But my own natural modesty prevents me from bragging about it.
However, it's too bad the Daily Globe managed to get those exclusive photos.
A mere bagatelle. We could have had those pictures if we'd wanted them. But you know me, I prefer to run the story straight, no sensationalism.
But when he's finally alone with the newspaper...
I'd give my eye teeth for those pics. I'll be hanged if they don't look like Peter Parker's work. I hope he's not quitting on me. I'd better start buttering him up. I'll turn the famous Jonah Jameson charm on him.
But now, back to our demon photographer.
Aunt May is probably visiting Mrs. Watson next door. This is my chance to search for the costume she took from me. I'm sure she wouldn't throw it out. She could always use the material for something else.
But a half hour later.
Well, the old Peter Parker luck is still holding out. I can't find the costume anywhere. Which means I've got to do the one thing I hate the most in the whole wide world. Even the mere thought of it makes me break out in a cold sweat. And yet, there's no other way. I've got to do it. I'll have to sew myself a new one. Boy, if Flash Thompson could see me now.
But minutes later.
Aunt May, isn't this the night you usually spend with Mrs. Watson?
Yes, Peter, dear, but she had another appointment tonight, so I just took a walk.
Poor Aunt May. She always looked forward to those evenings with Mrs. Watson. Her life is such a lonely one. And I don't help much by spending my spare time prowling the city as Spider-Man. Well, I'll try to make up for it now. My new costume will just have to wait for some other time. I've got an idea, Aunt May. There's no school tomorrow and I've no homework. So how about coming to a movie with me now?
You mean it, Peter? You really want to go with me?
With my favorite aunt? You know it.
Well, there is a movie I've been dying to see. It's a remake of an old favorite of mine. I'll be ready in just a moment, dear. My, I feel like a young girl going out on a date.
And I'll buy you all the popcorn you can eat. So put on your prettiest hat and let's go.
But before you start wondering if you're still reading Spider-Man, let's switch back to Frederick Foswell.
The night shift is taking over now, so I guess I'll be leaving. I'm pretty lucky that no one has yet guessed my little secret. I've even managed to pull the wool completely over Spider-Man's eyes. And no one is apt to unmask me now. Anyone seeing me would think I'm merely taking a bundle of clothes to the laundry. Now, with the crime master dead, it's safe for me to return to my apartment. My little disguise has served me well, but I wonder if I'll ever have to wear it again. It would have been too dangerous for Frederick Foswell to mingle with the mobs, gaining information. But the Underworld never guessed that the informer who betrayed them was the character known as Patch.
Meanwhile, in another part of town, another man gazes at another disguise with burning hatred in his evil heart.
Once again, my brilliant plans have been thwarted by Spider-Man. He has proven to be my greatest threat, my most dangerous enemy. I'll never rest till I've destroyed him. But I'll lay low for a while. I'll wait till he's convinced that I've given up my crime career. Till he's virtually forgotten about me. And then, when he least expects it, I'll strike.
And what of the goblin's intended victim? Who would suspect that at this very moment, Spider-Man has just finished his third bag of popcorn?
How did you like the movie, Aunt May?
It was delightful, Peter dear. I simply adore a movie that makes me cry.
Personally, I like a good slam-bang, drag-'em-out action picture.
But they're not good for you, Peter. You know how sensitive and high-strung you are. It isn't healthy for a boy like you to have too much excitement, even in a movie.
How true, how true.
And as the shades of night blanket the silent city, we leave you with this thought. Isn't there just a little of Peter Parker in all of us? The end.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes Spider-Man. Is he strong? listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes Spider-Man.